Motion to come out of executive session. Which one? Both of them?
Just one.
Just the
So
one.
just make one motion and come out of it.
Okay, one motion to come out of executive session. Nancy and Tina, all in favor? Or, no, roll call vote. Nancy? Tina?
Aye.
Joanne?
Aye.
Kendra?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay. Okay, so, per discussion here, then, we,
Do two separate motions, one
Two-
for Tracy and one for John.
okay, so the motion for central services for Tracy regarding salary and, well, reappointment of the central services director and salary, then I'll need a motion to increase her salary by the 3.5% or the $1, whichever is greater. Tina? Oh,
Excuse me for a second. You need the resolution and the motion to forward separately?
Yes.
On the resolution for reappointment,
okay.
to a motion to approve reappointment?
It's
of
separate from
Tracy?
this.
Yeah, separate that from
Okay.
forwarding the salary.
Okay, we can do that. All right, motion to reappoint Tracy then as Central Services Director. Need a motion. Tina and Kendra, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, and then we'll need a motion to increase salary for Tracy to 3.5% or $1 an hour, whichever is greater. And forward to salary and labor, sorry. Kendra and Tina, all in favor? Okay, then we'll have the
Can I do the same thing for John?
resolution and pass that around, and also for John. Okay. I'll need a motion then to reappoint John Haig to Director of IT Committee, Department. Joanne, do I see you? Yeah. Okay. Joanne and Nancy, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes, and then I'll need a motion to increase salary for John Haig to the 3.5% or $1 an hour, and forward on to salary and labor. Joanne and Kendra, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Now, budget. We'll do budget, and you're done. Okay. And then budget from John. Thank you, Tracy.
We'll do budget report. What do we want to do first? Budget or report?
Report, I guess.
Okay. Ticket count ended up at 640 tickets for the month. And then our intrusion report looks about the same as it always looks. Everything that was in got blocked, and nothing out of the ordinary showed up. The two things, I will have two things. So we did have an email outage. It took about, we were down for about 3 hours. We had an issue and we had to reboot the server to fix the issue, which would only be like a 20-30 minute reboot. But unfortunately, there was an update that was hanging out there, and then the update had to run before it allowed us to let Exchange back up. So we ended up being down for like 4 hours of email. Once it all got rebooted, it was up and everything was fine. But that was just like services have an issue, or like there's a log file that gets clogged with, like it gets overfilled, and then because normally like a log file should fill and then it should delete off the end, and so you never run out of space. But for some reason it doesn't do that deletion, then it fills up, and then to fix it you have to do a reboot, and then unfortunately now if an update's hanging out there, so we try to make sure we update that regularly, obviously, but we always have to do that off hours. This just came in at a time in between where we just didn't, and so we just got caught with an update. And then we had to do our firewall updates, which always are wonderful because Fortinet says, yes, we've tested these thoroughly, nothing will go wrong. Something always goes wrong. We did have issues with PDF files. We have a Band-Aid in place. We're waiting on Fortinet for a fix because nobody could open the PDF here at the county after the update. But due to security, we can't roll it back, so we kind of got, Band-Aid stuff, and then they're working on a final fix for us on that.
Can they open the
Yes.
PDF? Okay.
Yes, everyone can open it, it's just like, and it wasn't catching everyone the same day, like, it wasn't like, oh, nobody could open a PDF, like, the day after, like, I could open them, a couple other people could open them, and I think Don, like, messed with something like, the following Tuesday, he couldn't open one, so it's like, okay. But once we put the fix in, it fixed it for everyone. So, those are the two big things that happened this month. And that's it for my report, unless there's questions.
Any questions for John?
I'll make a motion to place the report on file.
That's from Joanne, and a second, Nancy, all in favor? Motion passes. Thank you, John. Okay, budget?
Budget, you guys should, does everyone have a copy of the budget? I believe. So basically, most of my lines stayed the same. Office supply went down. Last year we had to get new chairs for the office, so that went down. Professional consultant went up just a little bit because unfortunately our vendors are charging more because they're paying their employees more, so it all trickles down to us. So I had to increase that just a little bit. I'm just going over the minor ones first. Travel, I went up a little bit just because mileage keeps going up, so I bumped that just a little bit. And then we do have a project for the jail with cameras. So you'll see an extra line that's actually a project line that falls underneath the camera in this camera system, but that's gonna be a separate project, so that's kind of broke out. Instead of showing 78,000 line item for cameras, we split that out so you guys can see that that's an actual project. Everything else, this is our big three, the ones that change drastically year to year. Hardware went down because we don't have to replace as many PCs next year, so that one went down from 382 to 215. Unfortunately, maintenance contracts all went up because the cost of all that's going up every year. They raise it 3 to 5%. So I'm not going to go into too many details on any of these amounts. If you guys have questions, obviously I will address. So we found some vendors were listening to my meeting and what I'm projecting the cost to be, and then they're matching what was on this sheet. So I don't want to call out too much because this is all obviously live on YouTube. Obviously, if you guys have questions on the maintenance contracts, obviously feel free to ask, guys. I want to keep it kind of generic. And then the software. So there's a couple things going on in software. One, Microsoft went from like a 7 to 10 year expiration on Office to a 5, and so now we get caught in like we have to replace a whole bunch of versions of Office, or we go to Office 365. Some of the problems with Office 365 though that we run into though is if we would have like an internet outage here, or if Microsoft has a data center outage, well guess what? Nobody can use email, nobody can use CIC, nobody can use Excel, Word. All of it's gonna be dead until that's fixed. So I'm trying to hold off on Office 365 until we absolutely have to make that move.
Does that happen frequently then?
I think it happened twice last year, for like a total of like 4 days. I like 2 days here and 2 days there, and like I just can't. So like it wouldn't be that bad except for like CIC runs on Access. But if they can't use Access, they can't use CIC, which I mean we can't sit there and go, okay, sorry, we have no accounting system for 2 days. We have no email for email. You can go to the web, but in general we don't want to leave our employees without access for any amount of time if possible. That's why I like kind of trying to keep some of this stuff in house because that way we can control outages. The other big thing in here, so you'll see Exchange 2025 is $93,500. So right now, that's supposed to get done this year. Microsoft has blocked off purchasing. I have $50,000 budget because that's what it should cost to do it this year. they were supposed to release pricing July 1, and then the vendors would have got it. The vendors that can give me the price would have got it like July 3rd, and so I'd have a number sometime this week. Microsoft has now came out and said your numbers will be released sometime in July. Obviously, if that number comes in over $50,000, well, that's going to go against my budget, and if I don't have enough reserve there in extra money in extra places to be able to pull it off, it's going to have to wait till next year. And I'm literally with that 93,000, I'm throwing a dart at a wall because nobody has any clue what Microsoft's doing with the pricing. Then the only one that knows is Microsoft, and they're not telling anybody. So so if say when they do release the pricing this month, if that comes in under 50 and I can run that project this year, that 93,000 will fall off. So I'm hoping to not do finance until August because I want to give that time to see if I can get a true number in there, which would lower it. I just don't know how much. So but like I said, I can't hold everything up waiting on one number from Microsoft. So and then we have this database migration, similar to some of you might be aware of some of the databases that exist down in the county clerk that we're working on getting transitioned this year to more upgraded databases. Well, we have like 8 of them throughout the building, and so that's a cost of migrating all of them because they're all built on some technology that was done before I was born. Some of them like 86, 87. So obviously the software's almost 40 years old. We got to get it update. We got to migrate that to better software so we can better support them. And so that's just an extra line to get those databases all taken care of. And that's it, unless you guys have questions on my budget.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Jen. So we will send this to finance then. And I will get a motion to accept the budget and forward to finance. Joanne and Tina, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll get this signed. I'll pass this around along with the resolutions, and everybody sign it and get that done. Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to touch on old business. So we're ready to do the final phase of the floor. The vendor just has to give us, the vendor just has to give us 48-hour notice because I have to suspend the rack that is in there, and I don't want to suspend that in the air as long as I have to. So pretty much I told the flooring guy if he gives me 48-hour notice, they can come in and finish the floor. So and that was beginning of last week, so I'm just waiting on them to give me that notice to, like I said, lift the rack so they can do the floor underneath, and then we can start transitioning everyone back upstairs.
So how long will that take once they,
Once they lift it, they'll be done the same day.
oh, the same day?
So yeah, so
Okay.
I mean, granted, I may hold it up a little bit longer. That way, all that weight is not on that floor because the pedestals are glued in the bottom. I don't know if that weight coming back down too early would shift anything. So I will hold it up a little bit or keep the weight off as much as I can. But
Before you get on, you guys.
well, as soon as, like I said, if they would email me today, say, hey, we're gonna be there Wednesday. Well, then by next week we could start moving it room back up. But now I'm at their mercy of when can they get here to get those 8 tiles done. That's it for old business. And I had nothing new. But yes, sorry.
Just quickly, camera system out at the park, did we get that up and going?
We're installing the camera, the Wi-Fi.
The
is getting
Wi-Fi, yeah,
installed-
the Wi-Fi.
It's getting installed this week. We've had, with all these firewall issues, things like that, it's just been really hard to get somebody out there, not gonna lie. And plus with vacations with Brian on 4th, like I said, it's here, we just have not had a chance to get somebody out there with Ken to put it in. But it will be in.
So what did they end up going with, you guys?
It was AT&T, FirstNet, because it's gonna be $40 a month. as
So
compared
with
to
that
starting-
tower that just went
Yeah,
out there and made it better?
The guy went out there and he says he's green all the way, so we will see. And plus, it also gives us a good case study for EMA when they get their bus, because this will be the same device that will go in there. So it'll be kind of a good case study, see how does this work in a dense wooded area or things like that. So.
Okay, great. Thanks, John. Anything else? Motion to pay his bills. Nancy, second by Kendra, all in favor? Okay, if there's nothing else, anything else for this committee today, I'll need a motion to adjourn. Kendra and Tina, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.